Hey, machine knitters. So I hate the look of 2x2 ribbing when I do a sweater in worsted weight yarn. You tell me what you think. Do you like the looks of it or not? Like, it just sort of hangs there. I don't know. I always think they look questionable. So today I want to show you how to do a 2x1 ribbing because they look way better. Even look at this 1x1 ribbing. Like, it's not super exciting, but I don't know, it just looks better. So let's do a 2x1 ribbing. So this is actually a Knit King PCBR ribber. It's the same as a KR260 brother ribber. So we want our ribber on H3. So I had to jump on here real quick because we are doing a sweater workshop in December and I want you guys to know about it. So we are trying to decide between this 2x2 ribbing and a 2x1 ribbing for our Christmas sweater. Now, if you don't like reds and red, then you can make whatever color Christmas sweater you want. This is the first one I made with the 2x2 ribbing that I don't love because I feel like it flares out on the side somehow. But here's the 2x1 ribbing that I'm showing you guys. And this is going to be on my Christmas sweater. And it doesn't look just so loose and stuff down here like my 2x2 ribbing did. So check the description if you want more information for our December sweater workshop. So let's do this 2x1 ribbing because I like it better than 2x2, but you get to decide for our December sweater workshop which you prefer. For 2x1 on the main bed. So let's see, this is our 2x1. So we want 2 out and 1 back. However, on our ribber bed, we are also doing 2x1. So we're using the same needle pusher and we want our 2 to go up between these 1 needles. So let's see if we can do that. So we want the 2 ribber needles to match up to this 1 to be on either side of the 1 needle that we have back here. So I'm just going to find 2 that fit that and then use my needle pusher to push up the other ones. So when you are doing 2x1 ribbing, you want to have a number of stitches that can be evenly divided by 3 because you have 2, then 1. So I need 82 stitches. 81 can be evenly divided by 3. And then I need 1 more stitch for my end. So what I'm going to do is, since I need 82 stitches, I'm going to start over here at 41, and that will be my extra 1 stitch. And I'm just using my correct 2x1 needle pusher. I'm going to keep pushing all these out. There is a groove that your needle pushers sit in. See this little mark here? They'll sit right in your groove. So now I'm going to go down here to 41 and hope that we come out right. And you can see that we are now on 41, ending with our 2 end stitches. So now I'm just going to fix my ribber stitches and get them all up where they need to be so that I can cast on. So all of my needles are out now, and the next thing I have to do is rack my ribber 1 space, so I don't want any of my needles to be up. So I'm just going to run my carriage across so that they come down into normal working position instead of out here into holding position. Same thing with the main bed. So I'm just setting up my needles right now. Okay, can you guys see what happened here? My needles fell because my sponge bar probably needs to be replaced. So I need to fix these and make sure I have the right number. So if you have needles that are not staying up where they're supposed to, you need to change your sponge bar. Okay, they will stay after I get it threaded. It's just that I have to make sure that I thread it correctly. and didn't miss any stitches. So what we're going to do now is we are going to just rack our ribbon over to H2. So if you started with a two end stitches here, you need this needle up to catch that and do the zigzag stitch. Okay, so now we need to set our carriages. We want them on the star, or some of them don't have a star and still have 0. Everything else is in normal. My manual says to put this over into 1. This does give us a little bit looser stitch, but we'll see how it goes. Up here, we just want 0, plain, normal. And then we're gonna knit 1 row. And then I'm going to put my casting comb in. I like to pull out my end wire just a tiny bit so that I can push this up and tip it so that I can now pull it out until I need to. But I don't pull it all the way out so I don't have to, so I don't have a problem getting it back in. And then I'm able to just slide my wire back in without too much problem. And I am twisting it a little bit if it gets stuck on an uneven peg or something. Now usually you might go ahead and put your weights on, but there was a lady the other day that said she doesn't put her weights on until the end, and it looks, the selvage edge just looks a little bit better. So I'm gonna wait to put my weights, to hang my weights. Okay, so now I'm going to go to 1 on my ribbon and my main bed carriage. And when we go to the left, I do not want my ribbon to knit, so I'm going to put my part button on. I'm going to leave this in 1. Okay, so I'm on 1 on my main bed, and I do not want it to knit when I go back to the right, so I'm going to push in my right part button. And now I'm just knitting my 3 rows for the selvage edge. If you have a Singer Studio or Silver Reed machine, you are going to want to move your cam lever to the S when you do your 2nd row so that the main bed does not knit. Okay, now right away I like to put everything back into normal, and I like to set my gauge. So this needs to go back into plain, and I'm going to just 1 notch above 2. But we're not done yet. So remember how we moved to H2? Now we need to move back to H3. You also need, if you pulled out that extra stitch, you're going to transfer whatever's on that stitch to the main bed, the stitch on the main bed. Now I'm going to knit 1 row. And now I'm going to put my weights on. I'm going to put 1 in the middle. And I'm going to put 1 as close as the end of my knitting as I can get. Okay, so now I need to reset my row counter. I'm going to set it at 1 because I already did my first row. And now I'm regular knitting my 2x1 ribbon. Okay, so we are done, but as you notice, now we have 2 stitches on our ribbon bed and only 1 stitch on our main bed, and they don't even line up. We have to move all these stitches to the main bed, so how are we going to do that? Well, we are going to put our ribbon into pitch. Pitch lines up our needles, and we're going to go to P3, and that is going to put my needles right lined up with each other. So now I'm going to transfer each stitch to the stitch directly across from it. And if there's already a stitch there, which there's going to be in most cases, because we have 2 stitches here and only 1 that's out of work. So we're just transferring our stitches straight across. You might want to pull down on your cast on comb just to make sure everything's snug. It makes it easier to transfer stitches. Now, one thing that I do sometimes is I will push my ribber stitches up because it's easier to grab from here and push down, where it's just a little bit faster, and then transfer across. And then usually our latches are also open. Okay, so let's see what that ribbing looks like. So this is what that 2x1 ribbing looks like. I think it looks much better than our 2x2 ribbing, and I hope to see you in our December workshop making a Christmas sweater. So make sure you give your knitting machine some love this week.